Give me a run for my money. There is nobody, no one that run me. So give me a run for my money. Sipping bubbly, feeling lovely. Living lovely. She's lovely. I wanna be with you. Ay, I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Ay, I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Me just love me. If I didn't ride blade on curve, would you still? If I'm in my mind at work, would you still? Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to. Keep it a whole 100, don't got you, I got nothing. I got something. Hold up. We gon' function, no assumption. Feeling like Tyson with it. Got out Tyson with it. Only for the night, I'm kidding. Only for life, yeah, only for life, yeah, only for life. Let's get it. Hit that shoulder, me. I know what coming over me. Backstroke overseas. I know what you need. Already on 10, all money come in. I'm feeling go out. This feeling don't drought. This party won't end. If I didn't ride, would you still?
Great record right there. What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Thank you for returning with me and joining me here today on what should be your favorite show, the Mykell Mathieu Show, where, you know, it gets live, it gets cracking. I am here to give you everything in the world of sports, entertainment, and so much more. I am Mykell Mathieu. If you don't know who I am, I'm happy to introduce myself. But you are here with me on my journey towards claiming my Hollywood star. Like, I can't wait to get it, and y'all gonna be out there with me because you're a part of this story. But let's get right to it. A lot of things going on in the city. As you do know, if this is your first time tapping in, I am an LA sports journalist, born and raised in Los Angeles, California. And I got to tap in when it comes to what's going on in LA, of course. So CP3, he has returned. He is now, once again, a member of the Los Angeles Clippers. Great pickup, I feel, for the Clippers. You get a vet, a point guard that's played with James Harden, that's played for the team. Crazy to know that he was 5 times voted an all-star as a Los Angeles Clipper. And I believe, you know, if it was like baseball where you had to wear your cap when you got, you know, retired and you went into the Hall of Fame, his will have to be the Los Angeles Clippers because he made the most noise with the Clippers, and he helped turn this franchise into something to where now they have their own arena here in Southern California. So shout out to him. But it was really dope, man. They honored his return. He had his press conference, a Q&A with the fans. He was signing autographs with the fans. Like, it was the type of love that he received. And I've been saying it all along. Once he retires and he's done with the sport of basketball, that the Los Angeles Clippers need to retire his jersey. I've said it all along that I believe that Blake Griffin should be the first one. But hell, what if the Clippers just say, skip it? Let's get it out the way. We are going to retire 3 guys' jersey all at the same time. We know Lob City as Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, and Blake Griffin. So I wouldn't be surprised if they found a way to retire all 3 of those guys together. But it's going to happen. Chris Paul getting his jersey retired with the Clippers, and I will have to be there to show love because in the past, 10, 15 years of the NBA, he is one of my favorite players. You know, if you follow me on social, Mykell the PG, a lot of that PG stands for point guard because when I hooped, you know, in my time, that's what I played. And, you know, I feel it's still the most important position when it comes to the game of basketball. So shout out to Chris Paul, and he talked with Malika Andrews, and he said this may not be it. You know, before he talked, he said this might be my last season. He's like, I don't know now. I'm back with my family, and if he's able to play with the Clippers, if he has the game left, I believe he would try to play a little more. But if he doesn't, and this is his last season, I know Kendrick Perkins has stated what he stated, but don't listen to Kendrick Perkins because he is 100% wrong. Chris Paul is a top 10 point guard of all time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. He was called at once the point guard for a reason. He was a guy that was 20 and 10 at his peak, and wherever he went, they became a franchise that won more games. And that's the job of the point guard. You're not meant to put up 30 points a game like a Steph Curry. That's why I question if he's actually a point guard, because his intentions is score, score, score. Having a triple-double like Russ doesn't make you the best. It's about making players better. It's about winning games, and he did that. Yes, he wasn't an NBA champion. He hasn't been able to do that as of yet. It would be crazy if he did it with the Clippers, but he has elevated every franchise he has been a part of, and that's a point guard's job. So when I look at the point guard position, my favorite position in the game of basketball, I have to give you Mykell's top 10. So we're going to start with a clear cut. Number one is Magic Johnson. He should be number one on everybody's list as a point guard. He scored the ball. He made players better. He controlled the tempo and pace of a game. He killed you in the half court and the full court with his passing ability and ability to score. And he was a bona fide winner with 5 championships. He won 3 MVPs. The guy is the epitome of a great point guard, a true point guard, and there has been no one better. I love Steph Curry. If you count him as a point guard, hey, I don't think he's reached Magic Johnson's level, and he never will be. You know you're a great point guard when you can score 10, 12 points and still dominate a game because you got 15 to 20 assists, because the way that you're orchestrating your offense and controlling the pace of the game. That's what true and real point guards do, and Magic is the greatest of all time when doing that. But in no order, I'm going to give you my guys. I have Magic at number one, of course, but then you have a guy like Zeke. He has to be in your top 10. Big O, the original Mr. Triple Double, he has to be in your top 10. John Stockton, the all-time assist leader, Mr. Pick and Roll with him and Malone, he's in my top 10. Gary Payton, a guy that was a 20-8 guy, that was the best point guard defender that the NBA has ever seen. He's in my top 10. CP3 is in my top 10 as far as point guards. Then I'm going to go Russ, the new Mr. Triple Double, a guy that elevated Oklahoma City once Kevin Durant left. He went to the Rockets and was able to be great. And, you know, he found ways to be great at a point guard spot, but he is on the list. Steve Nash, you have to mention him, 2-time MVP. You see what he did with the Suns. A lot of basketball is played the way that it is today is because of him and that Suns team. So he is in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then it goes down to my 10th one. And that's where I'm looking at Bob Cousy. I'm looking at Walt Frazier. It's one of those two older guys. And I know you guys are going to say, where is Steph Curry? If you have him as a point guard, yes, he is for sure in the top 10, and he will be top 2, top 3 up there with Zeke and Magic. But I don't really look at him as a point guard. I look at him as a shooting guard with some point guard responsibilities. I go back and forth with people on X, Instagram, that I believe that their true point guard of that team has always been Draymond Green, a point forward. But because Steph Curry is 6'3", he's smaller, they just slot him and say, oh, put him at the point guard position. It's like whoever you guard, that's the position that they place you at, right? You could be a truly a center on offense, but if you're guarding power forward, they're going to call you a power forward, and that's just how it works. That's why we don't look at Tim Duncan as a center. We say he's a power forward because most of the times he was playing against the power forwards on defense because they had guys like Splitter, David Robinson, and others that would play that center position guarding the big centers. So that would be my top 10 if we exclude Steph Curry, right? Magic, Zeke, Big O, John Stockton, Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, CP3, Russ, Steve Nash, and then it will be the toss-up of the old school guys, Bob Cousy and Walt Frazier. But that's my list. You guys can always comment on YouTube. You can chime in tap in with me and tell me who's in your top 10 when it comes to all-time point guards. But not having Chris Paul in your top 10 point guard list is blasphemous. And Kendrick Perkins is blasphemous, saying that he's only top 15. I'm taking him over a guy like Russ. In my top 10, I'm taking him over a Gary Payton with the way that he's playmaking. I know Steve Nash has the MVPs, but he did that mostly with that Suns team that was built for him. But Chris Paul has done it in every place that he's been to. So if you don't have Chris Paul in your top 10 as a point guard, I don't want to talk to you about anything hoops because you don't know what you're talking about. You're probably one of those guys that don't have Kobe in your all-time top 10, and I don't want to hear none of that nonsense. But shout out to CP3. He's back in LA. He's back around his family. He's excited, and he's going to do his very best to help this team try to make a run for an NBA championship. So let's see what's going to happen there. But keeping it LA, when talking about hoops, you got the Clippers. You know that's the little bro team, the JV team, some call it. But then you have the Los Angeles Lakers, and the talk of the town today was the one and only, the new face of LA basketball, Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic looks like a whole entire different man. He is slimmed down on the cover of Men's Health magazine. He's on his Jordan Brand tour, and with the magazine, he's talking, and he's like, hey, I seen guys like MJ. I seen guys like Kobe. You notice he didn't mention his teammate, but hey, that's just me. He said, I seen those guys and what they sacrificed and what they did to win. And I said it when the trade happened. Him coming to LA was going to awake a new beast because LA don't play that. Laker fans do not play that. We ain't taking no halfway BS. We need you to come and we need you to hoop and play at your very, very best. That's why Laker fans haven't fully bought into LeBron, because it's like, yes, you won one championship because you and AD played out of this world, but that's it. You're supposed to be the GOAT or in King James, and you only can bring the city one championship, and you're still playing at a top 15 player in the league level. We don't settle for that. So that's why I believe Luka knows, the history of the Lakers and how we give love to our superstars players. You see the names that are up there in the rafters. We show them peak level love because not only did they come and win one championship, they won multiple, but they gave everything they got day in and day out during the offseason, during the regular season to help the team win. And that's why the pressure is on Luka to be great with the Lakers, and he understands that. And that's why I believe with the Jordan tour for himself, being a Jordan Brand member, being back in LA very soon, that he is going to sit down with the Lakers and say, what kind of deal should I sign? What can we do to make this work? And what are the plans for the future of this team winning a championship? Because I want to be a part of it. We know that Luka was a loyal guy. It looks like he would have retired a Dallas Maverick if given the opportunity. And I don't think he wants to be like KD and LeBron, these guys jumping from different teams. He's like, I wanted to play on one team like Dirk, who, helped teach me in Dallas. But now since that can't happen, I just want to play on two teams, and being a Laker, like Kareem playing on two teams all time is something that I want to do. So I expect Luka to sit down with the Lakers, sign a brand new deal before this season. But the Lakers have to be excited about him being slimmed down and being fit, because I call him cone drill on the defensive end. So maybe this means he might finally play some defense, baby. And I don't expect him to be all NBA defense. Just play good enough defense to make it tough that people won't attack you and pick on you in the pick and roll. And that alone can elevate him, because he hasn't won an MVP yet. He's going to be 27 years old this season. And I know he wants to start to get some accolades because he doesn't really have individual awards. He doesn't really have anything as far as success in the postseason when it comes to winning the championship. So it's about that time for Luka Doncic to get after these accolades. It's about that time for him to try to get to some winning. And that's what this slim down Luka lets me know, that he understands what LA basketball is about and being a Laker. And he's ready to take that mantle from LeBron that LeBron got from Kobe. And he wants to take it to a whole another level. So shout out to Luka Doncic. I'm excited to see what the season is going to bring. I'm still in the place of saying I believe that the Lakers won't win until LeBron is retired or away from the Lakers. But we'll see if Luka can change my mind if he goes crazy this year and pushes this Laker team to the NBA Finals like he did with the Dallas Mavericks a couple years ago. Keeping it on the hardwood, I have to give a shout out to the Los Angeles Sparks. The Sparks are on a 5-game winning streak. They took care of business. They beat the Connecticut Sun twice. They better have did that. They beat the Washington Mystics twice, which is big because they are ahead of them in the standings. But they pulled off their biggest win of the season, knocking off the New York Liberty. And oh man, it was huge, and it was a win that was much needed as they make this push for the postseason. But things get even better for the Sparks, right? They get an added spark. They're already sparking pretty high, right? Fireworks type of sparks in the sky. But now they get even more of a spark because Cameron Brink is returning to the Sparks. Of course, she's going to be on a minute restriction, but Cameron Brink, the second pick last year, one of the biggest WNBA drafts in recent history, only played 7 games last year, but she showed her true impact with the way that she was able to play defense, and her being dominant on that end helps elevate the Sparks to a whole nother level. So shout out to the Sparks, man. Let's see what she can come back and do. I truly believe in the Sparks team. I've been saying it all season long as I cover the team that I feel if they can beat on the teams that are below them or slightly above them, that it will give them an opportunity to get into the playoffs. And right now they sit like 2 games or a game and a half from the 6th seed in the WNBA. So look out for the Los Angeles Sparks, especially if Cameron Brink can come back and really have an impact. Her, De'Erica Hamby, Azurá Stevens down low, give them one of the best front courts in the WNBA. And how Rakia Jackson is playing, Kelsey Plum is in that shooting guard role, Ray Burrell off the bench giving the spark, and Julie Alamon being that true point guard, getting the best out of this team. The Sparks can not only be a team that secure a playoff spot, they can be a team in the playoffs that you like, man, I don't want to see them because they are balling like that. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the Sparks, but I expect some great basketball because the Sparks, they're just hitting on all cylinders right now. But they got a big one tomorrow. The Las Vegas Aces come to LA, and it's going to be another challenge. But if they can pick up that win, hey, y'all going to have to handle a crazy Mykell, because I'm going to be going buck wild at the game and on the next episode of the Mykell Mathieu Show on Wednesday. But if you want to tap in with me, of course, I have my LA Sparks show, LA Sparks Weekly. Me and my host, DJ Tracy Treese. You guys can come check us out. We're going to be doing a tailgate there at LA Live. It's going to be pretty cool. You can come get some food, some pizza, and have a good time. Let me give you the location. We're going to be at Emmy Square Pizza, LA Live, 5 p.m. The game is at 7. If you're going to the game, come pull up. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come chop it up with your boy, and let's have some debates, or let's talk about this Sparks team and see what they can do against the Aces tomorrow night. Keeping it with the W. Breanna Stewart, she was injured in that win for the Sparks, against the Sparks as the Liberty fall, and she didn't play tonight as they went down against the Dallas Wings 92-82. And man, they need her. They're the 2nd seed right now in the WNBA. They're 17-8. They're still in a good place, but they need Stewie to get back. She was able to avoid a major injury, but these injuries are going crazy in the WNBA. And I just got to say this to Commissioner Kathy. You got to find a way to stretch the season out a little more. You added 4 more games compared to last season, but 44 games in like 116 days is not enough. These ladies don't get to practice. They don't get the rest, and it comes back to bite them. And that's why I believe you see a lot more injuries in the WNBA today. So I love the fact that they're playing more games. I love the fact that there's more teams coming to the W. But they have to stretch this season out, give these ladies more practice time, a longer training camp, and give them more time to rest their bodies so they don't deal with these major or nagging injuries. So let's see what, Kathy and the W can figure out, but they have to do something because you can't have a prime game on a big network and it's a blowout and it's one of your premier teams. You want more competitive games. You need your players healthy and they need to find a way to stretch this season out. So taking you away from the W and the hardwood, and taking you to the MLB and just shouting out. The MLB trade deadline is near. Trade season is already happening. You see a guy like Josh Naylor, former All-Star first baseman, goes to the from the Diamondbacks to the Mariners to give them a boost while they try to battle and probably, try to capture the AL West. It's going to be a lot of trades that happen. Tommy Edman was a big trade for the Dodgers last season, and he was a big part of them winning a World Series last year. So there is going to be a move this MLB trade deadline that really alters the postseason. So be on the lookout. It may be for your team. It may be for a rival team in the MLB, but some team will make a move that we will look at the end of the season and say, wow, that move right there helped that team win a World Series. And that's what's always great about the MLB trade deadline, because it's always something. It can be a big or very small move that you say, wow, that player gave them just enough to push them over the top. So will the Dodgers do something to help them as they kind of had their struggles in this month so far? Will the Mets make a move? The Padres, Yankees, and any of these teams that truly have an opportunity to win a World Series? We will see, but something's going to happen that's going to alter things. Be on the lookout for. But here in LA, here across the country, football season is here. In the college world, you've been having media days and things like that as they start to wrap things up with their practices. In the NFL, there is training camp. And here in Los Angeles this week, I'm going to be one day with the Rams, one day with the Chargers. So I am very excited to see what's going on for both teams. And I already have my thoughts going in for what I've been learning about these teams so far in the early parts of training camp and some of the moves they made to where the Rams, I am a full believer that the Rams, with the addition of Devontae Adams replacing Cooper Kupp, I think that's an upgrade. And with an improving Kyron Williams, Blake Corum getting more touches out of the backfield, Puka Nacua continuing to grow, Tutu Atwell being there, Jordan Whittington, the tight end room being healthy and being better, I believe that the Rams truly have what it takes to be in the Super Bowl this season. On defense, my guy JVA, Jared Verse, is going to look to go from Defensive Rookie of the Year to possibly being the Defensive Player of the Year. Him and Braden Fix, my Florida State Seminole guys, they are going to look to take a jump forward here with the in their second season and helping the Rams get to a Super Bowl. That front four is crazy. You have Poona Ford, who I really love that addition. I believe him and the addition of Devontae on offense, him on defense, really puts them over the top. What was the issues with the Rams last year? You could run the ball down their throats, especially in the middle of the defense. It's going to be much tougher this season because Poona Ford is in the building. Braden Fitz getting better. Jared Verse. You got Byron Young. Kobe Turner is a stud, and that secondary is very solid. I'm letting you guys know right now. Go to Vegas. Put your money on the Los Angeles Rams. I believe that they are going to be a scary, scary team this year. They were the closest to knocking off the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, and I believe they actually can do it this season. So put that money on the Rams, baby. And when it comes to the Chargers, I can't wait to be at their camp as well. As you know, if you know who I am here at the Mykell Mathieu Show, of course, I'm a Arrowhead guy. I'm part of the Chiefs kingdom, but I show love to my LA teams, and I'm not biased. I'm gonna keep it real. And I do think that the Chargers, of course, if things can fall right for them, that they can, give the Chiefs a problem and try to steal the division. But for me, it's some things that give me I have issue with this team. The O-line, amazing. I like what they're doing with the running back room, Najee Harris and the rookie out of North Carolina, but those pass catchers, I still don't know if I can trust them. Ladd McConkey, stud. I fully trust that guy. He is a baller. But with the retiring of Mike Williams, now you have to depend on Quentin Johnson. And from reports, he's been doing some good things, but he always does that. His first 2 years, he does good things in camps, but with the real games come, he falls apart. But they didn't really upgrade there. They're going to be counting and hopeful that some young guys can emerge and step up for them. But as far as veteran presence that we know that we can believe in, they didn't really do much to secure what they needed for Justin Herbert to be successful there on the outside. And, I like Will Dissly and some of the tight ends that they got. But like Kendrick said, it is not enough, and I don't believe it there for them. So if they can, dominate defensively and, get that running game going, it's going to give them an opportunity because that offensive line might be the best in the entire NFL. But I'm going to keep it on the outside with the Chargers. I don't like the receiver play, but they're DBs. You lose Christian Fulton, who is now a Kansas City Chiefs. You lose Asante Samuel Jr., and you have a lot of new faces at DB. Don't even mention Derwin James. Like, that guy is a bookend, all-pro guy, a Florida State Seminole guy. So I've been watching him for a long time. He is for sure a stud, but the DBs, the cornerbacks, I'm not sure about that group. So if they get in trouble and they can't, run the ball that they want to, I don't know if they can pass and beat you that way. And I don't know if it is somehow a shootout if they have enough in their DBs to stop you. You up front, you don't have Joey Bosa, but Khalil Mack is back, and I love Thule up front, but you lose Poona Ford. So it's some things that the Chargers have to get right. But of course, if things do go right with Coach Harbaugh, they have a chance to be a playoff team once again and compete. But I'm going to just make sure you following me, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm going to have some reports when I step there at the boat to see the Chargers and when I go ahead to LMU with the Rams. So make sure that you guys are following me there. Shout out to all the people tapping in, Facebook, YouTube through the Misfits live page, X, TikTok, wherever you're tapping in, man. Appreciate you. But I ain't done when it comes to football. I have to talk about it because you all know, of course, I'm a Chiefs guy, but I'm not biased. I'm not like all the way Nick Wright. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out Nick Wright. He's a Chiefs guy, but I'm not all the way there. I'm not delusional. If things look bad, I'm going to let you know that. But I believe that the Chiefs are all right, and they're going to be right there competing to try to win a Super Bowl. But we got to see who can knock them off. Like, the AFC is going to be competitive. It's going to be tough. Who can make it a tough go and possibly finally take the AFC crown for the Chiefs? And we know the top contenders: Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, Josh Allen and the Bills, Joe Burrow and the Bengals. And then, of course, you got the Chargers. You got the Texans. You got, maybe a surprise team that has a chance to emerge, the Broncos, Jacksonville Jaguars, and etc. But you guys can always let me know how you feel and who you think is the one. But for me, the team that I'm looking at that really has a chance to challenge the Chiefs and knock them off, for me, it's going to be Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. They added D-Hop. Zay Flowers continues to get better. That tight end room is top tier. The defense should be much improved this year, and they got Derrick Henry in the backfield. I believe eventually Lamar Jackson is going to break through and have that postseason moment or two to finally get them to the Super Bowl. Of course, Josh Allen is going to have his moment come too eventually, I believe. But I think that Lamar Jackson is much closer. And if there's any year to try to catch the Chiefs, this is the year. And I think if there is any team that's going to do it, it is going to be Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, because they play the type of football that it can work. And if he can have his threats on the outside step up for him, Lamar Jackson, with that defense, with that running game, with that head coach, I believe that they can get over the top of the Chiefs. I hate to say it, but I told you I'm not biased, baby. If I'm going to keep it real, I'm going to keep it real to you. And if somebody can knock off my Chiefs, the team that I will fear the most is the Baltimore Ravens. And of course, the Bengals are going to be tough. They always are tough to the Chiefs. I don't know what it is. Joe Burrow is just that special. But this season, if it's going to be any team to knock them off when it matters most, it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens. So that's it for me when it comes to sports talk. Follow all of my work, Culver City Observer, Fanny TV, FI360, and the Sporting Tribune. You can tap into everything I'm doing in that world. Check out my shows, The Misfits Live, every Sunday, 8:30-ish. Me and my guy, Elam, and then LA Sparks Weekly. And then I got a lot more coming with the NFL season. But that's it for sports. You know, when it comes to the Mykell Mathieu Show, I am more than just a sports guy. I like to tap into the entertainment, movies, hip hop, etc., etc. And I'm gonna start off showing love. I was able to tap in and watch that Fantastic Four on Friday, and you need to go watch it if you haven't yet. It is a dope movie. The MCU is doing things that's moving them in the right direction, and I am a fan of it. They are doing their thing. The movie was great, great storytelling. I wish it was a little longer. That's how solid I believe the movie was. I wish it was a little longer so we can get some more action, but they did a great job of giving the story of the Fantastic Four and, you know, them in their world. 838, Galactus was dope as the lead villain of it. I love the Silver Surfer. I know a lot of people hate because it wasn't the guy Silver Surfer, but her character was really dope. Like, I would give it a 8.5 on my first watch. Of course, I have to watch it again, but I was really entertained, and I liked what it did to introduce the MCU to the Fantastic Four. And the cutscene was pretty cool. It showed us our first look at Doctor Doom, and Franklin, you know, his character, Franklin Reed, to see what's going to happen with that. Like, I'm excited for what the MCU is going to bring to us the rest of this year and next year with Doomsday, and I just can't wait to see more of it. So don't listen to the haters out there, because it's always going to be that. Today more than ever, people just want to hate for no reason. But if you haven't seen Fantastic Four, go check it out. It's a great movie. You will enjoy it if that's your thing. Just like Superman, if you haven't seen that yet, go check out Superman. I watched that a couple weeks back. Great movie as well. Hey, the action movies is going up. The comic book movies is going up. Make sure y'all tap in with it. Before I get out of here, final topic, I got to talk about hip hop, the genre that I truly, truly love. And shout out to my guy, Russ, not Russell Westbrook, but Russ, the rapper. He had a talk where he talked about how hip hop has changed from what we knew it. Back in the day, of course, in the 90s, you know, me growing up in 2000s, it was about lyricism, who can really rap, who can spit. And along with doing that, you had to make good music. That's what made you stand out. But people really looked at lyrics and was like, what the hell are you talking about? Before I even tap in fully into you, what are you talking about? How dope are you when it comes to what you're talking about? But Russ is right. He said it has fully changed. Music has become about vibes more than about what you're actually saying. And that's what it's kind of like. You're the DJ of a song. Like, you are the background noise of the song. That's why you can get away with a lot of different ad libs and things, because people aren't really listening to lyrics. And for me, I hate that, because growing up listening to Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, DMX, Cube, and etc., it was about, like, man, the way that these guys were able to put rhymes together, the storytelling, the way that they were able to get emotions out through their lyrics always fascinated me and made me a fan of the genre. That's why I really like the Kendrick Lamar's and J. Cole's, Jids, and etc., because it's like, I feel that's such a talent. And yes, we need some vibey music, but I don't think that should be the end all or be all. But it all changed because of some major culprits, and I'm going to talk about it. I hate to do it because he's a guy that I listen to, but he's part of the blame. Drake, right? He has to get partial blame just because he became one of the true faces of hip hop, along with Kendrick, along with Cole. They were the guys carrying the torch after Kanye, Jay-Z, and guys like that, while they were still active in the game. But for the young folks, they were the ones, and he leaned so much into the vibe music to where people weren't even looking at lyrics when calling people the best rappers, where that used to be the only thing, our main thing that we looked at when it was about who are the best rappers of today. And Drake gets a partial blame because he leaned so heavy into who I'm going to place most of the blame on, and that's Atlanta. I believe once Atlanta became the sound and became the wave for hip hop, it ruined lyricism in hip hop. And I'm not talking about Outkast and got, Three Stacks and Big Boy, because them from Atlanta, they were spitters. They did their thing. They understood what it took to be great in this genre. But when Atlanta took over, it was after them. It was the Migos. It was Future, Young Thug, Gunna, Lil Baby, and etc. And I'm probably missing out on some names, but that sound became what it was about. It wasn't even about the flows in Atlanta, the lyrics in Atlanta. It was just about, does it sound good, right? Nobody ever listened to Future and said, oh my gosh, Future, man, his flow is crazy, his double entendres, triple entendres, the metaphors and all that. Like he's doing this. Like, nah, he just made you vibe and feel good to where you can listen to it in a whip and, in the club and things like that. Just like Thugger and the other names that I mentioned, it went away from, can you rap really well? Can you spit? Can I go and read your lyrics and be blown away by what you're saying, to where it's all about vibes. And once Atlanta was able to take the sound away from New York, where, in New York, it's about the bars and stuff like that, or at least at the peak it was. Once Atlanta was able to strip that away, lyricism dropped. And that's why even in New York, you started to get that drill music and things like that, where the boom bap and lyricism wasn't what was star anymore. And I hate to call out Atlanta like this, but I believe that is true. Like, Atlanta brought the vibes, but it took away the lyricism. So that's why these kids coming up today listen to a Clips album, listen to a Freddie Gibbs album, and they don't give it the love that it deserves, because they're like, man, I don't want to hear people rapidly rap and spitting bars like that. I just want to chill. I just want to vibe. And life is about more than just vibing. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? What are you on? What are you saying in your lyrics? Am I listening to your song and you talking about some nonsense? Or are you giving me game? And then you're so skilled as a rapper that you can also give me a track that I can be vibey to. Because Drake, when he first came in the game, he was giving you both ends of the spectrum. He was giving you the bars and stuff, but he was giving you the vibes and stuff as well that you can play. Once Atlanta became king and he realized, hey, I need to do that to be on top of the game, he dove all the way head first into the vibes and things like that, where he forgot about lyricism. And that's why Atlanta and partially Drake is the reason why lyricism have taken a step back in hip hop. But it's all started to change last year when Kendrick Lamar did what he did, and the beef heard around the world, and he started to make people read lyric after lyric to see what he was talking about. He made Drake rap, and we started to read what Drake was talking about in that beef. And then once Kendrick dropped after, it's the same thing. So that's what helped open the door to giving a push to the Clips, so where we reading their lyrics and like, oh, these guys are spitting. Freddie Gibbs, what he's able to do, and countless others who can really rap. And I hope that we get back to that, because that's who I grew up on. That's what a lot of us that's 30 plus grew up on, people that can rap, because there's a place for both. There's a place to have vibey music. There's a place for lyricism. But in this last era of hip hop, it's mostly been focused on, can you make me vibe? If I can't turn up to it, I'm not even trying to listen to it. And that's not hip hop. So thank you guys for tuning in and tapping in with me from wherever you listen at. Facebook, or watch that Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok. I appreciate you. If you haven't, follow, subscribe, go to the Misfits Live, THA Misfits Live. Go and subscribe there on YouTube. Tell everybody, tap into the Mykell Mathieu Show, because I am bringing you that fire. If you follow me on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, be on the lookout tomorrow. I'm there. Going to be LA Live. There, if you want to come tap in with me, reach out to me. Once again, let me find that location for you. Emmy Squared Pizza come tap in before the Sparks game. And possibly after the Sparks game if they take care of business. And, we can just mingle and have a conversation, talk about sports, whatever you want to chop it up. But the Sparks are back. Let's see if they make it 6 straight. I'm going to be back with you here with the Mykell Mathieu Show on Wednesday. So be ready for that. I appreciate you, and it's all love. And remember, you are a part of this journey as I take my steps to securing my Hollywood star, a LA kid with a Hollywood star. Oh, it's going to be a turned up occasion, and you will be a part of it. So I thank you. Let me get out of here on this Kendrick Lamar love. Y'all have a great Monday. Have a great Tuesday as well. I'll see you guys.
If I'm in my mind at work, would you still keep it 100? I'd rather you trust me than to keep it a whole 100. Don't got you, I got nothing. Run for my money. There was nobody, no one that run me. So give me a run for my money.